Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's mini missing moment. This segment is all about sharing missing persons information in the hopes and in the efforts to raise awareness and bring these individuals home. Very often, people go missing and we don't have a ton of information to share, but it is still so important for us to try to help get as much out there as possible so we can do our parts and try to help locate and bring them home. Other times, loved ones have been missing for months, years, even decades, and it's still important to share their missing persons information over and over and over again to hopefully reach the right people who may know something or who may have the answers that can lead to reuniting these missing with their loved ones. As we get into today's mini missing segment, it saddens me to say that there is the thought that this mother is no longer with us and we are searching for her along with answers, but the fact remains we need to share. We need to help this family and we need to raise awareness in hopes that those answers can come sooner rather than later. I am Heather, one half of Like Mother, Like Murder, and on today's mini missing moment, I will be telling you about missing mom Ashley Elkins. Ashley Elkins is a 30-year-old mother of two. She has two sons, aged 7 and 10. She's a hairdresser, and she lives in Warren, Michigan. She was reported missing on January 3rd after she was last seen leaving her home on January 2nd to run errands, but never returning. We talk often about people's routines and how important they are in these missing persons cases because what people do, how they act, all of this gives reason to families or loved ones when someone is missing and details differ from their normal routine. Well, as soon as she was reported missing, her family came forward and explains that, quote, she was always in contact with her family, end quote, and the lack of communication was uncommon. To add to the uncommon of it all, let's talk about the time around her supposed disappearance. Ashley's mother, Monica, told a news source that she texted her daughter on January 2nd about a dream. She explained the dream to Ashley in text, and Ashley's response was just, quote, "Aw, man," end quote, which in the statement from her mom was not a response that was normal to get from Ashley. So she ends up FaceTiming her daughter. And of course, Ashley didn't answer. On top of this, there were times that her phone was off and on again that day. But one of her sisters was able to use the Track My iPhone and see that her phone was at Ashley's ex-boyfriend's apartment complex. And her family drove there to the complex, but did not see Ashley or her car. Like I mentioned earlier, January 3rd, she was reported missing, and searches did begin to take place for this missing mother of two. The Roseville police chief, Mitch Berlin, said that a very large area of the nearly 700-acre Pine Tree Acres landfill in Lenox Township was searched. Anything they found that they described as, quote, look-alike items was turned over for it to be investigated further, and they will be tested to see if they have any connection to Ashley. The ex-boyfriend has been arrested and charged with lying to police, and that makes me want to share the fact that we know everyone is innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. But some things make you look very guilty. This ex-boyfriend's name is DeAndre Booker, and this is something that unfortunately we see way too often in cases that we cover. But when they searched his Google history, of course, they find a plethora of some shady shit, such as search for, quote, is blood traceable? how to be a polygraph, what to do on the run, and how to delete Google history, end quote. Does this make DeAndre Booker guilty? Well, not technically. No, it doesn't. But it does make him guilty of seeming extremely, extremely, allegedly guilty. In a statement from a family member, Maurice Morton, who is Ashley Elkins' uncle, he says, quote, "We met with Roseville and Warren Police Departments, and they indicated to us that based on the evidence that Ashley had been murdered and by the ex-boyfriend at his home," end quote. He also gives a statement saying even more damning evidence on DeAndre Booker, that he was outside her home on the 2nd and abducted her, took her to his apartment on his own. And so this was premeditated. Everything points to him having a plan and executing that plan. Maurice Morton also discusses the fact that DeAndre's apartment has been referred to as the crime scene, and that evidence was found in the apartment as well as the dumpster of the complex, which is what led police to go search the landfill in the first place. We do not have 100% confirmed details on what was found, but it is believed to be blood evidence, both from his apartment as well as the dumpsters. At this point, there has been no confession, no answers given whatsoever. And one of the hardest things is that Ashley's mom, Monica, she talks about the fact that DeAndre was a welcome part to their family. They were accepting and supportive of him. Then, when Ashley ended things with him, different sides of him came out, showing up randomly where she was at work and going out of his way to be creepy and overbearing. It is with broken hearts that the family is pretty certain that they won't be bringing Ashley home alive, and that their fight now is for finding her and finding answers to what exactly happened, as well as getting the most justice possible for the monster who did this to her. They just held a very beautiful memorial for Ashley on March 1st in Detroit, Michigan, celebrating her life and legacy. This beautiful mom, Ashley Lashay Elkins, had so much life to live, so much love to give her family, and of course to her 2 boys. Our hearts go out to all who knew and loved her, and we hope that justice is served quickly and that the responsible party is convicted to the highest degree possible for taking Ashley from the life she deserved and should be living. If you have any information that could help law enforcement in their investigation, please contact Warren Police Department's Detective Darryl Bagiano at 586-574-4784. We've also provided the GoFundMe link in the show notes of this episode wherever you're listening, and it will also be provided on our social media, like Mother Like Murder on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. If you are able to help support this family with a monetary donation, the link is available for you to do so, and if not, please consider just sharing Ashley's information to others. Finally, Ashley Elkins' tragic story is one of domestic abuse, so we beg of you, if you or someone you know is in a relationship that is unsafe, harmful, or abusive, please contact the Domestic Abuse Hotline at 800-799-7233. We will talk to you all again on Tuesday for our regularly scheduled Like Mother, Like Murder episode. If you have a loved one that is missing and would like us to help share information on them, please email us at likemotherlikemurder@gmail.com so that we can do our part in sharing a missing person segment in hopes and efforts to bring them home. You can also find us, like we said, on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube at Like Mother, Like Murder. You can reach out, contact us at any of those places. Thank you all for listening today, and remember, even if you think you can't help or make a difference, you can. Simply by sharing this episode, sharing articles of those who are missing, sharing their pictures, all of these things help to raise awareness in their case and keep the momentum going to search and ultimately find the missing. Thanks. Okay, love you. Bye.